Today we're going to be learning how to knit brioche, and this is so exciting because this is actually the first of a series of videos and patterns that we're going to have for you, where you're going to learn single color brioche, two color brioche, as well as two color brioche with increases and decreases. So what is brioche? It is a super fun, very popular knitting technique that you can use to make squishy, poofy, stretchy fabric. It almost looks like 1x1 ribbing. You can see these almost look like little knit stitches, and then in the valleys almost looks like little purl stitches, but it's not, it is different. Today we're gonna be learning how to work single color brioche flat and in the round. To download this beautiful pattern set called Jeanne by Jeanne, head to expressionfiberarts.com. We're also going to link directly to it, as well as the yarn that we used in the description box. This pattern set includes this beautiful scarf, this gorgeous cowl, and a beautiful hat. For this pattern set, we used our enduring worsted yarn, which is soft and squishy and long wearing, so it's excellent for accessories and sweaters that are gonna be loved for years to come. While you're on the site, go ahead and sign up for email updates for weekly free patterns, and we will let you know there when the next patterns in this series go live. If you are new to brioche knitting, I recommend you start with a scarf and then work the cowl and then finally the hat so that you can build on your skill set. And I do have a couple tips for you when learning to knit brioche. I recommend when you start, knit a small swatch and get really comfortable with those stitches before you move into your big beautiful project. The second thing is I recommend that you use a lifeline, because it is a little bit challenging to drop back down and fix stitches if you make a mistake in brioche, but if you use a lifeline, it's going to save your bacon. For today's single color brioche demo, I'm going to show you how to work brioche flat as well as in the round. Let's start with single color brioche worked flat. Okay, so I've cast on 11 stitches, and for this pattern you just need an odd number of stitches. And we're going to start with row 1, which is the right side. So you're going to knit the first stitch. You're going to work a yarn over and then slip the next stitch purlwise. And you're going to continue repeating that until you have one stitch left. So knit one stitch, yarn over, slip one purlwise, knit one, yarn over, slip one purlwise, knit one, yarn over, slip one purlwise, and again knit one, yarn over, slip one purlwise. And then when you get to the final stitch, you're just going to knit that stitch. And this is your setup row. So now we're good to go ahead and move on to row number 2, where we're going to start working our brioche. So this is super exciting. So row 2 is a wrong side row. So you're going to start by slipping one, and for this pattern we're going to work selvage stitches at the beginning and end of each row. So when you're on a wrong side row, you're going to slip it with the yarn in front purlwise, like so. Now you can move the yarn to the back. Okay, if you take a look at your stitches here, you've got little crossovers where those yarn overs are lapping over every other stitch. So in brioche, that counts as one stitch. So we're going to knit those together, and that is called a brioche knit. So just knit those two lapped over stitches together to create a brioche knit. Now we're going to do a slip one yarn over, and this is very exciting. Go ahead and bring your yarn to the front, slip that next stitch, and while you're doing that, go ahead and cross that yarn over so you have slipped one and done a yarn over at the same time. So you're just going to continue repeating that across your row. So work a brioche knit, which is knitting these next two stitches together. Bring your yarn to the front, slip that next stitch purlwise, and just to make your life simpler, go ahead and wrap that yarn right over to create your yarn over at the same time. Very simple. Brioche knit, which is knitting those two crossed stitches together. Yarn to the front, slip that next stitch purlwise, allowing the yarn to create a yarn over as you do so. Let's do it again. Brioche knit, yarn to the front, slip and yarn over at the same time, and then we're going to finish with a brioche knit. And for this pattern, we're going to work a purl for our final stitch. Okay, let's move into row 3, which is a right side row. So for this particular scarf pattern, when you're on a right side row, for your selvage stitch on the edge, you're going to slip one knitwise with the yarn in back. So that's for right side rows. Now repeat across, slip one yarn over. So we're just doing the same thing we did before, but we're starting with the slip one yarn over. Bring your yarn to the front, slip that next stitch purlwise while also creating that yarn over at the same time. And then here's our little crossed over stitches that form a little group there, so knit those together. That's called a brioche knit. Yarn to the front, knit those next two together, those two lapped over stitches. Oh, sorry. Yarn to the front, slip that next stitch while also wrapping that over and creating a yarn over. Then we work our brioche knit. So those next two that are lumped together, work your brioche knit. Yarn to the front, slip that next stitch while creating your yarn over. Brioche knit, slip one yarn over, brioche knit, slip one with a yarn over, and we're going to go ahead and knit that final stitch. So you can see it's quite straightforward. Now you're just going to continue repeating those rows. Now if you do knit with your right hand, let me show you what that looks like. So you continue repeating those rows to create the scarf pattern, and I thought I would show you how easy it is to work that with your right hand as well. So if you knit holding the yarn with your right hand, to work row 2, which is a wrong side row, we're going to start by slipping this first stitch purlwise with the yarn in front. Now we're going to work our brioche knit. So go ahead and move your yarn to the back. Work your brioche knit by knitting those two together. And then to work our slip one yarn over, bring your yarn to the front, slip that next stitch purlwise, and you can see you're just automatically going to create a yarn over as you reach back with the yarn to work your brioche knit. So it just couldn't be simpler. So yarn to the front, slip that next stitch purlwise. Now your yarn is going to automatically wrap over to create a yarn over. See, it's lapping over when you create your brioche knit. And you just continue across your row like that. We're just going to purl that final stitch on this row. So you're just going to continue repeating those rows and you will eventually have a scarf. So you can see when you continue repeating those rows, you get this gorgeous squishy poofy fabric. You can see you've got what looks like knit stitches here and it looks like purl valleys here. And when you flip it, the purl valleys become what look like the knit ridges on the back and vice versa. So it's reversible, squishy, and gorgeous. And if you are making a scarf, I recommend casting on 27 stitches. You can make your entire scarf in this basic brioche pattern, or if you feel a bit more adventurous, you can work little panels of this beautiful honeycomb texture, which is double brioche. Here's how you work those rows. So I'm going to start with row 91 in the pattern, which is a right side row. So we're going to slip the first selvage stitch. So with yarn in back, you're going to slip this first one knitwise. And we're just working our single brioche like we've been doing here. So yarn to the front, slip that next one with a yarn over, brioche knit, and you're going to do it again, yarn to the front, slip that next stitch while working a yarn over, and work your brioche knit. Then you're going to place a stitch marker, I've already got mine here, and you're going to knit two. So knit the first stitch, and then what you're going to want to do is knit not the yarn over, but this little stitch hiding underneath. So this is the second of your knit two. When you come to the yarn over, you're just going to slip that. So you're going to repeat that across. So you're going to knit the next two stitches, so knit this one. And you're going to knit this next one, making sure it's not the yarn over. Knit. And then slip that yarn over when you come to it. So knit two, there's one, uncross your stitches so you can get to that little guy underneath. There's two, and then slip that next stitch. You're going to work a knit stitch, place another stitch marker, and I've already got mine here. So that between the stitch markers was our double brioche. Now we're back to just our single brioche. So brioche knit, yarn to the front, slip one with the yarn over, brioche knit, yarn to the front, slip one with a yarn over, and finish that with a knit stitch. For row 92, which is a wrong side row, bring your yarn to the front and you're going to slip that first stitch purlwise for your selvage. Then you're going to work a brioche knit, slip one with a yarn over, brioche knit, slip one with a yarn over. Then go ahead and slip your stitch marker. Bring your yarn to the front and you're going to work slip one with a yarn over, brioche knit, slip one with a yarn over, brioche knit, slip one with a yarn over, brioche knit, and continue all the way across till you're one stitch before your stitch marker. Slip one with a yarn over. Then you can slide your stitch marker, yarn to the front, slip one with a yarn over, brioche knit, slip one with a yarn over, brioche knit, and you're going to finish this row with a purl stitch. For row 93, which is a right side row, you're going to start your selvage stitch by slipping one knitwise with your yarn in back. Now yarn to the front, slip one yarn over, brioche knit, yarn to the front, slip one yarn over, brioche knit. Go ahead and slip your stitch marker and then knit one. And this should be not the yarn over, but that little guy underneath. So knit that one and then slip the yarn over. Now you're going to knit two, 1 and 2. It should be the little guy underneath, not this yarn over. Then slip the yarn over and continue repeating that. So knit 2, 1, 2, slip the yarn over, knit 1, knit 2, slip the yarn over, go ahead and move your little marker over, and you're just going to finish off with a brioche knit, yarn to the front, slip, create your yarn over, brioche knit, yarn to the front, slip, create your yarn over, and you're going to finish this row with a knit. For row 94, we're on a wrong side row. So go ahead and slip one purlwise with your yarn in front for your selvage stitch. And then all the way across your row, you're just going to work brioche knit, slip one and create a yarn over, brioche knit, slip one and create a yarn over. And as you come to your stitch markers, just pass them from one needle to the next. Brioche knit, slip one with a yarn over, brioche knit, slip one with a yarn over. And you can see how easy brioche actually is. It's sort of like riding a bicycle. It might seem overwhelming at first, but once you try it and once you get going, super, super enjoyable. Continue repeating all the way across. Brioche knit, slip one with a yarn over, brioche knit, and then you're going to finish this row with a purl. So you can see on my small swatch, between the stitch markers we have that beautiful double brioche, which looks like a little honeycomb texture. And then on the outsides we have just our basic brioche. So when you continue repeating those rows, you're going to see how you end up with this beautiful honeycomb double brioche between your stitch markers. Now let's learn how to knit basic brioche with one color in the round. This is very similar to working brioche flat, except you are going to learn how to work a brioche purl. Okay, to work brioche in the round, it is very similar. We're just going to learn a brioche purl. So I'm going to finish this round here, and this is very similar to what we've been doing. So yarn in the front, slip one with a yarn over, brioche knit. It's actually exactly the same as we've been doing. Yarn to the front, slip one, brioche knit. So let me finish up this round. Yarn to the front with a slip one, brioche knit, then yarn to the front, slip one with a yarn over. Okay, so that completes that round. When you're working the next round, which has the brioche purl, I'm just going to slip my beginning of round stitch marker. You're going to start with a slip one yarn over. So yarn to the front, slip one yarn over, and here's where this changes up a little bit. You're going to go ahead and wrap your yarn all the way around to the front and purl those little crossed stitches together. And that's it. So that is a brioche purl, and that is basically how knitting brioche in the round differs from flat. Let me show you again. Yarn to the front for your little slip one, yarn over, and then we want to purl these together. So of course you need to bring your yarn to the front, purl those crossed stitches together. And that's it. And you continue doing that all the way around. Slip with the yarn over, purl the cross stitches, slip with the yarn over, purl those crossed stitches, and that is it. And when you continue repeating those rows, you're going to get this squishy, cozy fabric. And you'll see in the cowl, it also has that beautiful double brioche honeycomb texture. So feel free to follow the pattern for those instructions if you like. So once you've made the scarf and moved on to the cowl, you should be good to go to make this beautiful hat. So I hope this beginner brioche tutorial was helpful for you. It really is just like riding a bicycle. Once you give it a try, easy peasy. Enjoy your week and stay tuned for our 2-color brioche tutorial. You're going to be perfectly set up for that, as you're going to be a pro at single color brioche by that time. Enjoy your day, sweet friend. Thanks for hanging with me, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.